Hey there, good morning everybody. It's a beautiful day outside. The wind is around between 3 to 5 kilometers per hour. Sunny but not hot, not too hot, although might get hot when I start flying. Took the tiny trainer, glider wing and sports wing. As you might know, I've fixed a few servos so I can get the sports wing back in place. And if the sports wing gives me any problem, then I'll go to the glider wings. It's not muddy at all. It's still a little, the dirt is a little still moist, but not muddy, not something that you'd soak in. These are the planes that we're going to be flying today. And as you might see, I've got them already hooked up and everything. All I gotta do is connect the battery, the prop, and we're ready to go. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright, so we're just about to get the battery in and install the prop. While I was searching for the prop, I realized that I did one huge mistake, which is I didn't have enough time to prepare this morning before I left the house. So what I did is I basically forgot the old prop, so I'm gonna be using a new prop, which also means I don't have a spare prop. So if my prop breaks, I won't have another prop. Regardless, the situation here in Israel, as some of you might know, isn't all the best down south. There's fighting in Gaza again, something that none of us want, at least my friends don't want. So I'm hoping the situation stays calm and we don't get any emergency halt to go pick up the kids from schools. I'm gonna put in the prop, the battery. I'm going to be using a 2-cell battery this time, 1000 milliamps, amperes, and we're going to go fly. Back soon. When I use the smaller battery, like the 2-cell, which doesn't fit in here and can slide out quite easily, what I do is I also add these little barbecue skewer holes I have so that the battery doesn't come off. So I'm going to put that in and then we're gonna start. I do need to create some new ones because, like I said, I forgot the prop, which is a plastic bag that had the props and everything for the plane to be ready to fly. Alright, so we got the battery in place and I can promise you it doesn't move. I'm gonna do a quick last check just to make sure everything works. Again, as you might see, battery just doesn't move out of this thing. All we had to do is put in a few barbecue skewers. I made an extra hole here because this one was more for a different cell battery. It's quite strong, double layer of foam, so we're all right here. But I can promise you this battery ain't moving. Now I did make a quick balance check and it's just about right. It's maybe a little bit too even. I'd like it a little bit more nose down. But if I take the battery a little bit more forward, I won't have any meat for the barbecue skewer. And then most likely I'll have an issue with it. Turn on everything here, just so you guys can see. So that's okay, up, and left, right, perfect. I did do this check earlier, and that's why the plane was originally all hooked up with wings on, which I usually don't have. But one thing I hate to do with a 4-channel is I hate to connect the ailerons, at least on this receiver. So the wind is pretty much coming that way at very, very light, so it's a little this way. I'm gonna just toss it that way. It seems a little bit underpowered, so let's hope for the best. I know you guys recommended not to fly towards the sun, but I don't really have an option. I'm going that way now. You guys recommended to put down throttle. With the 2-cell, it's a little hard to go a little too low, so I'm about 3/3 throttle right now, and it's getting too far away while we speak. So bam. Alright, well, that was a nice first landing, I'd say. I do need to keep the barometer with me in my pocket so that I can check it easily and see that I'm not going down too low. I'm not too certain about my batteries anymore. I think they're all damaged in one way or another. Well, I'm gonna go get the plane and give it another shot. It's not underpowered, but it doesn't have too much power to be a fast flyer, so it's easier to control. I like it. Alright, so when everything can go bad, everything can definitely go worse. GoPro can't be filming today anymore because I do not have any more battery. And not battery, I'm sorry, I don't have any more space on my SD card. This is not my camera, so I don't know if there's any way to reset the card and get a fresh start. I don't have an extra card, at least not for what I know. I'll give it another look again, but oh well, you're gonna have to trust me how it went this time. Okay, well, I'm super bummed out about not being able to film everything today because it was a perfect day. I'm gonna try to do something a little nutty and use my iPhone hooked up to the thing that I have on my forehead for the GoPro. I hope that works. There's a plane flying here a little low, so I'm kind of afraid to go right now, but I still got some time to get the batteries. So be back soon. Alright everybody, so I'm taking a little bit of a break. I don't know what's happening, but I'm feeling like I'm having some motor shortage issue. Something's getting the motor spinning, and then suddenly it stops after a few seconds. Sometimes it will go straight, sometimes it will stop immediately and won't even let it spin even a bit. I don't know what's the situation. The plants here at the field are still a bit wet from the morning temperature difference, so I'm putting it out in the sun for a bit to kind of lie down with its belly and the electronics all showing up, so that maybe the sun dries them up a bit. I really don't know if that's gonna help or not, but worth the try. I had some really nice calm slow flight with the 2-cell 1000 milliamperes, and right now I want to I actually still have a battery there. I could still go for another spin around at a calm situation, although because the motor is giving me some issues, I rather put on a 3-cell 1000 milliamperes, which is a problematic battery, as you guys know, because it has been punctured in one of the cells, so it holds for a very short amount of time. And then do maybe a spin or two with that, and then go to the 3-cell 1000. These little holes that I have here set up, so you saw this first one right here was for the 2-cell, and then this one is for the 3-cell. The plane kind of disappeared, so I'm able to go flying now. I hooked in the battery. I'm gonna try it. Hopefully I don't have a motor shortage issue like I explained earlier, and if I do, and this thing with the GoPro hook that I have made and my iPhone stuck on my forehead might allow you to understand what I'm talking about. So I'm putting you on my forehead and we'll go. Alright, see you in That's full throttle right there. I don't know how much you're getting out of this. This is full throttle. I'm putting down the throttle to around 2/3 for now. I'm getting low, so I'm climbing back up, going full throttle. The plane seems to be leveled out. Maybe would need a bit of trimming. I did a quick pause to check the battery and look at the video I did to see what's the case. Battery, I'm going to connect it to you, was and still is a little hot, so I'm not really in the mood of using it. It's at 63%, but the battery is hot. I don't like this battery. I'm afraid of it, to be honest. I don't want to have the plane go on fire. I don't have a fire extinguisher here, even though there's not a lot of stuff that can actually go on fire. I'd still rather not take that risks. I'm gonna go with the stronger battery, or 1300 milliamperes battery, 3 cell. Be back in a short. Okay, so I put in the bigger battery. This battery always gives me a little bit of a problem because it's super big, which doesn't really allow me to do anything with it. I'm just gonna put here a barbecue skewer, just another hole, and I'll be back. I hope that this time you'll get a better view than the last one, since it's on the side. The climb is definitely faster on this battery. Now I'm at just about 60% throttle. Putting on the throttle up again. This one I would say is a little less of a practice battery. It's more towards the have fun, go crazy battery. Coming down around, taking a little rate of a left turn right here, correcting, going straight, going full throttle again, gaining altitude. Going again. Well, I think that's very, very high in terms of altitude for corrections. I'm at 50% exactly. I should have checked what's the status on my battery. Perfect belly landing. I'm happy with the way I'm starting to control the plane, as opposed to my last session. This time I feel like I'm controlling the plane. Checking the battery and we'll be back shortly. You see, here is the problem that I have. It's breaking. If I go home and fix it, I might be fine. If I keep pushing my luck, I'll break this fuselage. I'm gonna give the motor a shot just to make sure it works. So that works. Ailerons work. Rudder doesn't really work because of the fuselage issue. Elevator works perfect. So I am debating with myself whether I prefer to glue this with tape, like you guys know. Here, I'm sorry. Like you guys know, it will work, but it's not my favorite and best solution. I've got meat here to fix the rudder really, really well. So, I'm really debating if to just put some glue just to give it another shot. I need to take you off my forehead to see what's the time, so I'm gonna be doing that, and then according to that I'll make that decision. I decided to give it just one more go. Hopefully I won't damage everything completely. I try to do a very simple, quick little fix, not too much tape. Putting you on my forehead and we're going again. I'm at 50%, 54%. I could give it another shot. I'm gonna do that. Just call it a day, complete out my batteries. At least to the 30%. I feel that due to a change or coming towards the winter, I should really enjoy the most out of flying so long as I can. Which is why whenever I do go out to the field and it's a nice day, I try to make the most out of it. Just hoping not to break stuff like motors, things that won't allow me to fly anymore. If I break a servo or even two, I could still go with glider wings. If I break a motor, I'll have to do some repairing, but I'll still be able to go to fly. But that would put me in a very bad situation until my order comes through. I think that was a really nice altitude climb as opposed to my earlier flies. Whenever I had an altitude climb, it usually meant a lot of stalling and then backflipping, gaining altitude and speed and trying to do some sort of turn. Right now I'm less than 50% throttle, which is also why the plane is kind of starting to gently climb down. I'm not really fighting it to get back. I think I couldn't have called it any better and put it down exactly when I wanted to. 30%. Closing up, wrapping up, going home. Bye bye. So just to really quickly wrap up the day like I always like to do. Today was a very nice day for flying. Weather started off with not being too hot. Later on, just about now when I'm about to leave, it is getting quite hot outside. I did start sweating. Wind was perfect. It was very, very calm. I really tried a lot of the batteries out, so I got different speeds. I got very slow flyer with a 2-cell, 1000 milliamperes, and I got a faster flyer with the 3-cell, 1000 milliamperes. That is the battery I'd recommend when you want to go from really slow flying practice to a little speed up. And then once I went with the 1300 milliamperes battery 3-cell, then that speed was completely different. It was way faster, way more thrill, I would say, but less good for practicing maneuvers, less good for practicing those routines, which is very important. Unlike the last time I was flying, this time I really felt like I was controlling the plane. I was more in control of the plane. I had almost no crashes. Most of my landings were nice, calm belly landings, kind of bubbly up on the ground. Bumpy up on the ground, I'm sorry. Nothing really broke except for that fuselage, which I managed to fix with